Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I thought it would be fun to switch gears a little bit and work on CSS animations. This is so much fun. It's really easy, and then you can just get your creative juices flowing and do all kinds of fun and interesting things on your web applications. Okay, so you remember those boxes that we created, those 6 boxes in our HTML file, and we gave them each an ID. So that's going to become really important because we're going to change and animate each individual box. The default styling for those boxes is in our styling sheet under the class of box. So if we go back to our style sheet, and there's our box, and then we have them each the width of 200, height of 200. They're all going to be blue, and they're going to have a margin of 10 pixels. So that's our kind of our default styling for each box. So we're going to go ahead and target each individual box using their ID and make each one different, and then we're going to animate them. Okay, so to animate, you need something. It's super easy. You need to do this. First thing you need to do is create the actual animation that you want to do, and you do that by using the @ symbol like that, and then saying keyframes. And then you're going to give that keyframes animation a name, and you're going to make up the name yourself. So this first animation I'm going to show you is a fade. It's a fading. We're going to fade the box, make it fade and then come back. So I've titled it Fade Me. And I'm going to use camel case titling. So my second word, me, is capitalized. So it's called Fade Me. And then what I'm going to do next is put my curly braces in. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay. So now I'm going to actually create the animation. To fade something, we're going to use a property called opacity. And opacity means there's a couple of values. 0 means you can see it. Or maybe it's hidden. I can't remember. I think it actually means it's hidden, so you can't see it. 0 is you can't see it, and 1 is you can see it. And then you can put 0.5, that would mean that you can sort of see it. So basically the values are from 0 to 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to say is we're going to say at 0%, at the very beginning of the animation, we're going to put some curly braces in, another set of curly braces, and we're going to say opacity should be, so at the very beginning, opacity is going to be 1. We can see the box. So this is the beginning of our animation. So that's what the 0% means. Then we're going to go to 100%. So at the end of the animation, when the animation is over, we are going to put some curly braces in. We're going to say opacity is 0. So at the end of the animation, the animation, it's gone, it's hidden, it's totally hidden. The object or the element that we're trying to animate is gone. It's faded. Okay. So that's our animation. Now what we're going to do next is underneath it, we're going to denote which one we're going to animate. So we're animating box 1, and it has an ID of box 1. So I'm going to say ID is hashtag box 1. And then we're going to put our curly braces. And then what we do first is we say animation name dash name. And we put our colon in. And then we give it, we already named it, remember? Fade Me. So that's what we put here. Fade Me. Make sure you spell it correctly. And then you put that. Okay, the next thing we have to tell the computer is how long should this animation take. So we're going to say animation duration, and you can see that there's a whole bunch of different things here. Animation delay, we can delay it for a second or two. Animation direction, we can have it go forward or backward. Animation duration is the one we're going to do right now. And 0 seconds, Well, I'm going to make it 4 seconds. You can make it anything you want. I want it to take 4 seconds for this fade out to happen. So it's going to be kind of a slower fade out. All right, the next thing we're going to say is animation iteration count. And these are the different values. You could do infinite, inherit, initial. So infinite is one that we do a lot. It's because we want this thing to keep happening. We want it to fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out. So we want it to happen all the time, continually. Or we could put a number in there and say we only want it to happen 4 times, and then it would stop. So if that's the case, you would say 4s. But I'm going to say infinite. Next, I'm going to do something called animation timing function. And I'm going to say something called linear. What that means is I want the speed of the animation to stay the same from the beginning to the end. There's other ones that we can use and we will use, where you could speed it up at the end, or you could slow it down at the end, where the actual animation changes speed during the animation. Okay, and that's pretty much it. It should work. So let's see what happens. Let's hit Control Save, and let's go and see what it looks like. So I'm going to scroll down to my boxes. There you go. So it's it's fading in and out, and it's going to continue to do that. Okay. Now I have actually something called LiveServer that I initiated, and so I don't have to refresh anymore. That's something that you can do on Visual Studio Code. So I'll show you how to do it. It's super, super easy. Well, actually, you have to go and install it. So you'd have to go to the extensions and install something called LiveServer. So let me see if it'll come up and I can show it to you. Let's see if it's on here. Oh, yeah, there it is, LiveServer. So you can just search it, search LiveServer, and it says launch a development server, development environment. And so once you've installed it onto your VS Code, then you go to your HTML that you're working on and click it, and then right click, and it should come up. So it didn't come up because I already have it installed. I already have it on. So I can't remember how to stop it. How do you stop it? Oh, I guess I would just go here, click to close server. Okay, so I'm going to close the server for a second. Server is now offline. Okay. And now if I right click, where'd it go? Why isn't it coming up? Oh, that's because I'm on my style sheet. Ha 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 ha. So silly. Let me go to my index. Okay, so you can only open it and close it from the index.html. So I can either go down here and hit go live, click to run LiveServer, or I can right click and open with LiveServer, stop LiveServer. So I'm going to open it. And it's going to automatically pop up. Probably will automatically pop up. There it is. Automatically pops up. And again, I'm not going to have to refresh anymore. As soon as I make a change and save, it's going to just save for me. Cool. Okay, so we did our first animation. Okay, let's do our next animation because it's super fun, and I'll show you a whole bunch of different ones. So I'm going to go back to my style sheet. All right, so we already did our animation fade me, and we are implementing that on box 1. So let's go underneath the box 1 and start a new animation. So our next animation is going to be a rotation animation. So we're going to say at keyframes and curly braces. Oops, I got to name it. I'm going to name it rotation. Okay. And then we've got our curly braces. Okay. This one we're going to do again 0%. You always start at 0% because that's the beginning of your animation. This time I'm going to need to use something called transform. So I'm going to need to do another set of curly braces. And inside there, I'm going to say transform. And then I'm going to put a colon. And then I'm going to say rotate. And then I'm going to put parentheses, a set of parentheses. And you can see that it's right here. You can see there's different ones, okay? So you can rotate the entire object. You can rotate just on the x-axis or the y-axis or the z or rotate 3D. So there's different ones you can do. We're just going to rotate the whole entire object. And in here, we're going to put how many degrees that we want to rotate. So we're going to say 90 degrees. And then outside of these parentheses, we're going to put our semicolon, and that's all we need to do for our 0%. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just copy this entire line, and I'm going to just copy it and paste it underneath, and I'm actually going to do it again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say at 50%, halfway through the animation, so to say 50%, I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Let's just change this to 180. And that's all I got to do. And then my third one, I'm going to say at 100%. So at the end of the animation, I'm going to say 360 degrees. That way it's going to go all the way around. 360. Okay, so that is, I believe, that all I have to do for my rotation. Okay, now underneath it, I'm going to decide to denote which element do I want to rotate. So it can be any element. So I'm going to choose the box 2. So ID box 2, and then I'm going to do my curly braces, and we're ready to do this. Okay, so box 2, animation name is called, animation name is, and I'm going to show you a shortcut after this one. So animation name is called rotation. Duration, animation duration is going to be, I'm going to say, let's make it take it longer, make it longer. How about 5 seconds? Okay. And let's see, how about count? Animation count, iteration count, and this time we're going to say 4 seconds. So it's only going to happen, it's going to rotate 4 times. That's it. And then it's going to stop. And then animation timing. Animation timing, where is it? There it is, animation timing function. And we're going to say, this time we're going to say ease in and out. So you have these different ones you could do. We're going to say ease in and out. So it's going to sort of slow down at the beginning and slow down at the end. And the other thing I want to do to this box is I want to give it a tiny border radius, because it'll be, I don't know, just for something different. Border radius, I'm going to give it 10%. Okay, and then, you know what? I think I'm going to change the color of it too, because they're all blue, so it'd be nice to have different colors. So let's give it a different color. Background color, background's going to be, you know what I want to, well, I better not do that because it's too much information. I was going to do a gradient, or some sort of a gradient. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay, this is super fun. It's called, this one's called a radial gradient, and the other one's called a linear gradient. And basically, I'm just going to make it have different colors from the center going out. And it's pretty easy, so why not? Let's try it. Okay, so background dash image. This is how you do it. And you say radial dash gradient, and you can see it came up. And inside of these parentheses, we're going to be saying what kind of gradient we want. And we're going to want a circle, but you can also do linear. I think it's linear. So we're going to say circle though this time. And we're going to say comma. That's important that you put the comma in. And then we're going to just put in some colors. So I'm just going to make it simple and just say purple. and orange and comma, and then yellow, and then comma, and then I'm going to do different colors, pink, and then purple again. So okay, and then after the parentheses, I'm going to put in my my semicolon. Okay, so I got to make sure I have all my commas in there, otherwise it won't work. So I got my circle, I got purple, orange, I should have a space here. Okay, and pink, comma, and purple. Okay, looks good. All right, let's see what happens. We're going to hit save, and go see what it looks like. Cool. Okay, so notice that it only rotated and then it stopped. So if I refresh, you can see it rotate, and it's going to rotate four times. It only rotated 2 times. So I guess it just rotates for 4 seconds. And the animation duration was 5 seconds. So let's slow that down, or let's make that faster, 2 seconds. So let's go back, save. I'm going to save this. And 1. So it rotated faster that time, but again, it's only going to rotate for 4 seconds. 1. So just for 4 seconds, then it'll stop. Okay, cool. So you can change all these different values and keep it rotating infinitely and all that stuff. Alrighty, super fun. So I want to do this to every single box and do different animations so you get some experience with different animations.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.